Hey guys, so I just had a moment and it made me want to make a video before I sit down and eat. One of the children who has quite intense cerebral palsy, called Catherine, was just having a good screaming bout in the house, shall we say, and she can thrash Catherine. She's not spastic, so she has some control over her body at some times. And she was thrashing about in her cot, and everyone was busy doing something, so I went in to see her. And I couldn't get her to calm down, so I started to sing. And I was singing a Buddhist chant that has been in my head since I first started my spiritual journey and trying to understand meditation. And I don't even know what it means, but I know it, and I sang it to her. And slowly but surely she started to calm down, and then eventually she took a hold of my hand, and then the smile cracked. And it was just a few hours ago that I recorded a video explaining the other side of life here, and you should see both sides, and I'll probably upload that video maybe it's before this one even, because the one side of life, if you're interested in my life here, of course, then you must also be interested in the life of the children, but one side of life is the battle we have, same as any human being. You know, life is not just plain sailing for everybody, it's truly not. And we're having a few financial upsets at the moment, and I was making a video to explain the problems that we're facing here, and the possibility for closing certain projects down. And sadly, one other thing to protect the income for food for the children and so on and so forth would be to reduce the size of our team and try and have the remaining members pick up the slack. Intense thing to deal with, not a nice thing to deal with. And I think a lot of people often say to me as well, you know, you have quite a difficult life out there, and I do and I don't, because at moments like that where little Catherine smiles back at me as if to say, okay, I know you're here, she's smiling saying, okay, I know somebody loves me now, and that's ultimately what all humans want to know. Then that's a privilege that's a privilege money and comfort and materiality will never buy. And I'm quite happy to live in poverty, and I'm quite happy to have the sleepless nights and to do the massive workload and all of that for those moments. Those moments are so valuable. It's a privilege to serve God in that way. Now, I do all of this in service of God, and initially I didn't love the children when I came here because I didn't know them. I came here because I loved God, and I knew that I should do what God wants me to do, which would be of my highest use in this life. But since then I've grown to have a privilege and a blessing from Him, which is I have grown to be able to love these children, and there are so many children. It's not difficult to put your love out into the world here. It's very easy to keep your heart open. And for all, most of them can't speak at my home, at least. You know, the other children can. But the ones at my home at least can't speak. But their eyes and their smiles say everything, you know. And I remember my staff once said to me after she left us, she went to study. She said, you know, if two sisters, Christina and Diana, if they could speak, they would say thank you. And I'd never thought about it that way, and it touched me deeply when she said those words. But the thing is, after I heard that, I would sit with the children, and I realised they'd already said thank you. They say thank you when they smile when I come in the room, or when they laugh when I come in the room. And times like that where I get to be one-on-one and singing, for all I'm not the greatest singer in the world. And from having a tantrum and screaming the place down, a smile comes and holding my hand, and it's a privilege to be able to love those who need love in God's name. And it's actually quite an easy life at moments like that, to be honest, because I can't see where else in the world you get such a job satisfaction. I really don't. It's not a job anymore, it's a life. Life satisfaction's very high in those moments. Saying that, this afternoon I was near enough pulling my hair out, trying to balance the accounts and cursing God and asking him where he was, and feeling close to tears as I tried to suss out whether I had to close this or close that, and the pain of telling children they can't go to school. And it's definitely a life of polarities, the one I lead here. It's up and down, up and down. And I think many people mistake something. I think when people say you have a difficult life there and you work hard for others, I think because I speak of discipline so much, a lot of people mistake that word, but discipline seems so dull and boring to us because we have this image of discipline, you know, standing over someone. And discipline is not in the least bit boring. Discipline aligns you with your dreams and your goals, and it aligns you with the successes you want in life. And living a disciplined life is very rewarding. Very rewarding. And living a life of service and putting yourself out there like we do here, then of course it's very difficult at times. We don't hide that. But it's also very blessed at times, is basically why I wanted to make this video. So, it's a privilege. It's a privilege that God asked me to do this. And it's a privilege. It's a privilege even to suffer whilst doing it, like we do, like I did this afternoon. That's a privilege as well, because there's a truck coming in the background if you're wondering what that is. It's a privilege to even have the hard times, because I'm having them in the name of love. You know, if I was having a hard time because a business deal fell through and I didn't get the money I wanted, I was having a hard time because like I used to, because I was struggling with drugs and so on and so forth, then, I mean, there's no privilege in that. It's a curse. And for all it feels like a curse, and it hurts just as much when you're suffering and having a hard time here. Times like this, when I have those moments that just open up my heart to such a degree that the energy floods through my body and just cleans me a bit, I have to say that even those hard times, however much they take their toll on you, are a privilege. A privilege. My life's a privilege. I'm honoured that God trusts me with these children. I'm honoured he trusts me with that which you share. And I'm honoured he taught me to be a disciplined enough man for him to put that trust in me. So if you ever think discipline's boring, look at the smile on my face. It's really not. It's truly very, very rewarding. God bless.